Welcome everybody to episode 250 of the effing title. I am your normal host, Big Husky, and this week, DeNutte's on vacation. So I hit up my good friend, Mr. Billy, Mr. Arzir, Mr. Ars Plays, Mr. I can't think of all the other names you have now. Dragon. But I hit him up because I've been hitting him up for the last little bit, but every time I do, it's on the day of recording, and he can't do it. We finally, DeNutte gave me a little bit of time beforehand, so we were finally able to make this happen after so long.
Yeah, especially now that I'm working extremely long hours per se, and always don't have time.
Exactly. So it's great to have you on. This is a fun. Are you ready for this fun fact that I found out today? It has been 1,111 days since the last time Billy was on the effing title.
Shit, that was the one about Final Fantasy, wasn't it?
Probably. It was August 2nd, 2021.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. I wanted to look beforehand. The funny thing is, though, is like that's episode like 77, and episode 65 you were also on. So I had you on like almost back to back within within months of each other. Back
when I was cool.
I mean, you're still cool. You're doing the things now, right? And also, I have a full-time co-host now too. So it's like, a little bit different. I don't need to worry about having people bail on me last second, week in, week out, like I was having.
Right.
But so because it has been 1,000 odd days, why don't you tell the people about you? Considering that most of them probably either don't know you or they haven't seen you in so long, they want to know what's up.
Yeah, forgot all about me. Well, for starters, I barely play games anymore. Like, I get on, I look at my computer, and I'm just like, I'm going to bed.
Fair.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, when the Mecha Break beta came out, I played the living hell out of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Game is so good.
I was going to say, I think I saw Charles streaming it, but outside of that, I didn't really know what was going on.
Well, I got accepted to the alpha. I played that a little bit, but then that's when I got sent to Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Jersey. I got maybe like 3 hours of that, and then I get a call from my boss, and he's just like, "Hey, you're going to Sayersville." I'm like, "Oh, peace."
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, but I mean, if anybody hasn't really talked to me lately, or seen like Snapchats or my stories or anything, I'm opening up a crafting shop.
Ooh.
It's dealing with resin. Like, I'm doing my custom D&D dice. My wife is doing custom D&D bags and leather deck boxes.
Okay.
And I've got custom proxies coming. So I live with her as Dokuhime, but it's Toxivex now. I live with her and her husband now, so she does the drawing. So she'd be drawing like the custom proxies. Say like if you wanted a squirrel to be a demonic looking squirrel, we got it, and then I print it, throw it to the cricket, all that. And
that's
then
awesome.
we have someone else, Dalton, who lives downstairs, who is good at tech stuff. So he's been like downloading, like making files for like custom terrain for like D&D and another thing I got heavy in. That's like the only thing I do on certain Fridays.
I mean, that sounds awesome, though, man. Do you have a website? Do you have a page or something? No? Okay,
Nothing yet.
So for everyone out there that is listening, if that stuff interests you and you're intrigued about it, eventually I'll be bugging Billy about this until he has it done. I'll put the links down in the description, though, and down in the comments. So if you guys do find that interesting, and it's something that you're into, that's something you want to support Billy with, then the links will be there eventually when everything does start getting rocking and or rolling.
It's gonna be cheap if you want to get your campaign on, and
there you go.
Because I mean, I'm okay at it right now, but I've still been like messing up on stuff.
Well, it's one of those
It could
things.
still
Well,
be like the cards can like still be played and stuff, but like
yeah. I mean, against the thing is like I feel like with a lot of that stuff as well, like it all depends on a couple. Like one of the things is like it all depends on the people you play with. But then also it's that thing of like especially if you're just starting it, right? It's only gonna get better from now on. Like you're gonna learn,
yeah.
you're gonna pick it up, especially if you're doing it right now. It's gonna be one of those things where it's just gonna get better and better as time goes on. So
Yeah,
that's
like
awesome.
I'm a really fast learner. I'm like I've only been into like Gundam for 6-7 months now, and I've already done a few commissions. Dude, like I got my most recent one sitting, favorite one.
That's
sitting on
awesome.
the desk right now. But like I've had like a couple painted and stuff for a few people and like details and whatnot. So like I've knocked that out and sent it off to them. I think they lived in California, if I remember correctly. Dude's name was Brandon. Won't give you the last name because he's not famous or he's not famous or nothing. But
Yeah.
it was just cool that someone hit me up on Facebook, which is like, hey, I liked your paint job. Can you do a custom for me?
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
then
I mean, I guess.
he cashed at me $650.
Sheesh. God damn. Yeah, that's
I was
awesome.
willing to do it for 25. It's just practice for me.
No, dude, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. So, as you can tell by the background and the fact that Billy did just mention Gundam. I mean, I'm not. So this isn't Gundam on my shirt, but it's the closest thing I had. It's Voltron.
I pulled a yellow shirt out.
Well, I had no shirt on, so I mean, it was kind of one of those things where I had to find something to put on, and this was the closest thing. Yeah, so we're talking about Gundams though today.
Yeah.
Like as you just heard, Billy is into Gundams, and by into Gundams I mean he was like, "Oh look, Gundams," and then he went into Gundams. So on the screen right now we have our each one of our favorite Gundams, which is always hilarious to me because whenever we talk about Gundams, I always bring up Bolt Gundam, which is one of the most obscure ones that like, I feel like no one fucking knows who he is.
Right. I mean, he's awesome. I love Bolt Gundam and the Maxter Gundam. Maxter is the one with the they uses his shoulder pads as his fist.
Yes. I will say though, it could be just the sites I was looking at, but some of the names of those Gundams, and how politically correct they are today. If I can find a list of them, because I was looking and I was like, hey, because I was trying to find the images for the thumbnail and everything, and I'm just like, oh, I don't think you can say that. I don't think we can say. I mean, because of course they're all like it's all like Neo Norway, Neo this, Neo that, but they all had like each Gundam specifically had like the different name, right? Like Tequila Gundam.
Yeah, then they had like the Tequila, they had the Rose, and the one that I forget the name of it right now, but it was modeled after a Hitler general.
Yeah,
but that's just because like during the tournament in G Gundam they had like their different factions. They had like the Russian, German, Chinese, the Japanese.
It was like it was the World Cup of Gundams.
It's funny that you got how like the God Gundam is behind me as the American. So it's the Burning Gundam because of his burning hand that he grabs on, and then but I just finished building that kit 2 weeks ago, and then we went up to Massachusetts and stuff to the Gundam Galaxy, which is awesome. I've been there multiple times and I always come back broke. But I was sitting there looking around and I almost had like a little kid like conniption fit, like sitting there and like Revan is just like, what? And I'm just like, it's Master Gundam. It's the Burning Gundams or God Gundams, whatever you want to call them. It's his master, like the main, essentially villain, like top champion. And I'm like, I gotta get it. So then I was with online name Daichin, at home name Carlo, and then Dalton, our roommate that is a basement dweller. I love him. He's fucking hilarious. And then we were with Revan. Oh, story about that. Yep. We're on our way on Saturday. We're on our way to Massachusetts to go to the Gundam store, and then right after that, we're gonna come back to Hartford Connecticut for the Games Workshop for Warhammer because
Yeah.
I got into that too.
Good. I've been seeing more. I watched like 3 TikToks that were Warhammer, and as you know how TikTok algorithm is, that
Yep.
shit just
So over flooded.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm gonna say this to your viewers. I play Taos.
Ooh. Okay.
Y'all are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna long range the shit out you.
That's funny. I still have yet to actually. It's
Tau players are really like hated. It's funny.
Oh wow, that's fun. It's to me the Warhammer thing's always funny because like of course I grew up in England.
Yep.
Literally, in London, whenever we go to London, which was very rarely, we go to London like maybe once a year, sort of thing. If lucky, twice. There's a Games Workshop there, and we would go there, and when I was like maybe 7 was when I first saw like, hey, this is what Warhammer is, and I was like, that's dope. So from 7 till I'm 35 now, I have known about Warhammer. I have had Warhammer on and off. I have had codexes. Like I'm talking like codexes from like the 1990s.
Ooh.
So like old codexes. I think I might have 1 or 2 still at my parents' house. But like I still have no clue how it's played. I still have no clue how to play it. I still have no clue how to paint or how to make them or how to do any of it, because every time I would buy them, it would be at like a yard sale or at a car boot, like a big car boot get together sort of thing, and I would just buy them because they're already pre-made and someone was selling them because they don't want them anymore. You know, so it's funny because it's like I have knowledge of Warhammer, I just have I have the smallest of knowledge, but the most random of knowledge of Warhammer. But
yeah. Okay, so before we got too hyped up, the story, we're on the way to Massachusetts, right?
Okay.
We're going past this place called Hartford. We're on the highway. We're all in my car. It's me, Carlo, Dalton, and Revan. We're going like 70, 75. We're all fucking excited. We're going roaring down the road. Boom! Tire blows out.
Ooh.
Dude, it was so scary because I've never had that happen. I've never been in an accident. I've never had a ticket or anything, even though it's me. If anybody knows me, I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah, kind of. That one surprised me a little bit.
Pardon my French, but I've never had any of that. But like, we got out the car and like I'm sitting there shaking so bad, and we literally just put in our new State Farm fobs. So like, if anything happens, blah blah blah, it records it for like the safe driving.
Yeah.
But my wife got a call and was just like, "Hey, were you just in an accident?" And she was like, "No." She was like, "Oh, well, the Ford Fiesta just gotten alerted." So instantly, she's in panic mode.
Oh,
Done.
God.
So because I'm sitting there freaking out, my phone's still in the car. They called me 3 times. They called Carlo twice. They called Dalton. They called Revan like 4 times, and nobody was answering. So like because how we did it for that day, like we did Girls' Day and then we did Boys' Day.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to like some lame bookstore garden flower thing. It's like, nah, I love books, but they were just in a panic mode. So then like I called and like my wife's just like almost in tears because she is freaking out.
Jeez.
And like we put the donut on.
Mm-hmm.
We like so I don't know how it is where you're at, but like when we're on the highways, we got like these big like rock formations, like almost like they just drilled through the mountain. But we were right next to that, and we decided to put like our handprints on the wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
And all that stuff. Oh, hey, look, we've got a visitor. Oh, it's wintry. Sorry. But we got the donut on. We're going back home. Mind you, we're already almost like 45 minutes out from our house. I drove back on the donut doing like 35 the entire way. There was people flicking me off, honking the horn, fucking zooming past me on a double yellow line. And like, dude, I was so bummed out because I was like excited for the Gundam store. So like, we got home and then Dalton goes, he just looks at me and goes, "I'll drive." I'm like, what? I can kiss you. So we went up there, and mind you, it was Dalton's first time doing anything Gundam. So like going to that store and like him acting like a little kid over it because like one of his favorite animes is like Code Geass.
Good guess. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so best way I can describe Dalton.
Hmm.
He looks almost identical to Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen
Okay.
without the blindfold. It like he's a hot man. It's cool being friends with him because like I'm an okay dude, and like we walk around and like people are like damn, but then we went to the Gundam store. He picked out his first Gundam. He was super excited. And then after we paid, we went to like the little pizza place right next door to it. Can't remember the name, so can't shout y'all out, but y'all freaking delicious. But I swear to whatever, the pizza slice that I got, because I got the 6 wings, Robin got 6 tenders. The tenders were like
Damn.
that long and about like that wide. He got 6 of them. But the price tag for them was even better because they were freaking delicious. It was like $4 for 6. And then I paid like 98 cents for a slice of pizza that was about as big as my torso.
Dude, those places are freaking great. I love places
And,
like that.
It was just awesome. But then literally right after that, we went back south into Connecticut to Hartford, and then we went to the Games Workshop. And kid you not, as soon as we walked in, the owner or whatever came flying up to us and was just like, "Hey, you know you want this kit." They're like right in our face. They're just like, "Buy it."
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, "How much?" He goes, $285. And I'm like, "What's all in it?" He goes, it's just a commander and a blah blah blah. And I'm like, no.
See, I understand that whole thing of being like, it's like, hey, we need to push this stuff. But sometimes
Right.
doing it that extreme is like, come on, bro. I had that happen at the I went and got I've been getting into Lorcana recently. That's my big one now.
Yeah. My wife actually wants to get into that. She doesn't want to play it. She wants to like collect it.
Oh, collecting is a blast too. Because I more collect than play right now. I do still play a decent amount, but it's more collecting right now. But like,
yeah, our stores are like super stocked with them.
oh yeah, no, it's so I went down to West Leb in New Hampshire because that's not my like, closest local, but it's the local I like. I actually like the people there are kind of nice, and also one of the coaches I used to coach with is down there, and he's always there playing Warhammer. So it's always it's kind of fun seeing him. Shout out Ryan if you ever listen to this. So I went down there recently. I pre-ordered a Trove, which is like 8 packs. It's like a magic bundle, basically, but Lorcana. So I pre-ordered that. I pre-ordered a starter deck, and I'm like, okay. I was like, pre-order, calling. They're like, okay, here it is, boom. And then I'm like, okay, now I want to buy some other stuff. And they're like, okay, what do you want to buy? And one of the girls behind the till immediately is just like, you want to buy a booster box, don't you? And I was like, well, wait, time out. I ain't that rich. And then I said like 2 or 3 things, and she's like, are you sure you don't want to buy a booster box? And I'm sitting there like, all right, I get what you're doing. I appreciate it. I ain't got that sort of money. And then like I turn to my left and I see like 2 other things I want to grab, so I grab those 2. And she's like, I really think you want to. And I'm like, look, I love you,
dude.
But
I have a confession talking about booster boxes.
oh boy, here we go.
So you know how I collect Pokemon, right?
Yes.
I saw there was a bidding online for the very first set of Japanese Pokemon.
Oh no.
And I put a bid on it.
Okay.
And I kept going.
Okay.
I eventually paid almost like $2,200 for it. Pulled not a frickin' thing.
That's. I mean, it's not 2,200, mind you, but that's what just happened with me with Bloomborough, which that hurt because I've been so excited for this set from Magic. I was so excited, and then it's like I didn't get anything. I'm like,
I mean, I pulled a Blastoise, but then it was first edition, not first edition, so it. Hold on.
That's wild. Yeah. So right now, Let us know who your favorite Gundam is at home down in the comments. Okay.
That'd be awesome. I love seeing other people's like favorite Gundams because like me personally, I like them all.
See, my thing is
Like
like
they,
it's so. And this is one of the things I was gonna say. I was gonna bring up before, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait. So, my knowledge of Gundam is G Gundam.
yep.
That is it. That's literally it. That's why like Bulk Gundam's my favorite. It was the one that I used to watch when I was a kid.
Yep.
It's the only one I knew really. So then I go on here, and I'm not gonna read all these because we ain't got enough time. We haven't got enough time for me to read all these.
So see, like instead of reading it, if anybody's gonna like get into like Gundam nowadays, after watching so many animes, like there's so many animes. Like example, I know it's like extremely popular, like Demon Slayer, Juju Kaisen, all that other stuff. But like they have whatchamacallit, all of the comedy added into it. Whatchamacallit, we can't really watch the older Gundams due to the fact of how political it is nowadays, and it's like a very serious show. If anybody's gonna get into it now, watch Witch from Mercury because that's literally like almost like equal to what I just said with all like the comedy aspects added to it. Like it's got its serious moments, and then it's got the moments where it was it's funny, and then it's awesome. Like my ringtone is like the shield deflection, so boom type deal.
That's funny. I was gonna say I've seen it on. Yeah, right here. Oh no, that's movie.
Ooh.
Don't play the movie. Don't play the movie.
Iron Blood Orphans. That one's really good. Like everybody gives the main Gundam out of that one some shit, but I like him just because for one he can't fly. Two, he's like overall out of like the universe of Gundams, he's considered the weakest Gundam, but he's like a feral type.
Yeah,
like he just runs off of instincts. If he feels like he's gonna die, you're gonna die.
But like, yeah, like I'm looking here and it's like TV. It's like Mobile Suit Gundam, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam ZZ, Char Counterattack, Mobile Suit SD Gundam, 00080 War in the Pocket, F91, Stardust Memory, Victory Gundam, G Gundam, Gundam Wing. I mean, I think I may have seen a Gundam Wing because that sounds familiar too now.
Yeah, that's got like the Wing Zero and the Death Scythe, and everybody knows the one Gundam Heavy Arms because like if you ask for a Gundam and how many missiles and bullets you want, he just goes yes because like his shoulder pads open up, his fucking chest opens up, his legs open up, and he's got like two big machine guns that like are chain guns that he's holding.
But like that's so what I've just listed is from 1979 to 96.
Speaking of 1979, there's been people going back like in the crafting world now, world, who've been taking like the ugly little screenshots and like making them into art, into like little clay art. It's so funny. Like I'll have to send you some. Like there's this one part where they call him the granddaddy, the RX-78 Gundam. When he's running, he's like hiding behind his shield. All you see is like, so we'll say this is the shield. All you see is his head, and then the sword coming out, and someone turned that into a clay statue, and I thought that was so funny.
It's funny seeing, and this is one of the things that I've talked about multiple different times now on the podcast, off the podcast, just in general. That like it's cool where we're at right now in the world, where basically if you have a passion for it, I'm just gonna say it,
do it.
You can make a living out of it. Like the fact that there's one on TikTok that I see very rarely now these days, but I still see him every now and then, and it's the Chaotic guy. Have you seen him? So back in the day, there was a card game called Chaotic, and it only lasted a little while. This guy has a full account, full everything. His whole social media presence is literally just, I like Chaotic. I'm going to explain it to people. I'm going to try and get it revived. That's his whole thing. And it's so cool seeing him do it, you know? And it's kind of the same thing with like what you were saying. It was like taking old screenshots of like kind of like either funny images or like, hey, this looks silly, and then turning it
Yep.
into literal pieces of art.
Yep.
It's so cool seeing and just how far we're getting with this sort of stuff. But
Some of the stuff people do with their Gundams, like their custom Gundams, gnarly. I hate them for it because why not me?
I saw one. I mean, it's not Gundam, it's Warhammer. But I saw one yesterday, and it was a Tyranid, and it was a Tyranid arm. I don't know
Yeah.
what Tyranid it was, but it was like a little like crab, like insect arm sort of thing. And they took like this like white goop, or not white goop, it was like a clear, like maybe in like glue. But they took it and they put it on one side and then up and around it. So it was like kind of like if this is the pincer, right? It was just like here, and it was just like a couple strands of it, and then they just dotted it with red, so it looked like blood dripping down, sort of thing. And I was like, that's I would never have thought, never. It's the same like every now and then like
It's the one he took like it's like the hot glue and it's making it look like blood splatter across
Yes.
the thing. Yeah, he paints it with blood of the blood gods. It's so cool.
It's the same thing every now and then. Like I'll see like you were saying with Gundams, like it's like you see Gundam models and they are just like custom built, and it's like okay, I'll buy the main kit, but then you know what? I'm gonna do this with it, or even not even like I'm gonna get the custom like the base kit. It's just I'm gonna just do it.
Right.
You know, I don't.
I love seeing that stuff and all that. So anybody is watching, they can hit me up, and then I'll give them links to like custom stuff people have done. They're so good at like half the stuff that they do.
It's it's a whole nother level of like creativity that just my brain can't comprehend. You know, because like for me, it's very much like it's like okay, this is the model. I'm going to make the model. You know,
Right.
that's it. Like that's where my brain is just there, right? Adding the extra little pieces, or like removing it, or like hey, let's do this. Like to me, I would start panicking almost because it's like now it doesn't look right in my head. Like what I'm seeing here and what is here is not looking right, and then I'll start panicking and just done. Nope.
Yep.
But so okay, so what got you into Gundam? What was the thing that got you into Gundam?
For one, I like robots, and
Fair.
two, if I'm being honest, it's depression.
Fair.
Like, I mean, that's honestly the best way I could put it because, like, I started seeing videos of like people building it, and like this dude, he was saying, Gundam has changed my life. They call him the Plamo therapist.
Okay.
He was like severely depressed to the point he wanted to like kill himself and whatnot, or sorry, dude, beep, because I know people don't like that. But he changed it and became like a better person. Started like helping other people out on like his streams and stuff while building Gundam kits and all that stuff. And I was like,
That's awesome.
let me give it a shot. So then I saw one at like Hobby Lobby or something. No, I think it was actually Walmart. It was like a real small kit. But then like I was at like a point in time where like I was still hating myself and all that stuff. But then like oh, my LED spazzed out. But I did it and I liked it, and it was almost like a suppression for like my mental, because like when I'm doing it, I instantly just go like numb.
You kind of disassociate, right?
Yeah.
Like everything, like it's kind of one of those things where it's wild how little things like that can kind of almost, I don't want to say calm the mind because that's not the right way of wording it to an extent to me anyway. It's not a calming of the mind, it's more of a focusing.
Yeah.
Like everything else kind of just fades away and you're just locked in on that one thing you're doing.
Right.
That's
By the way, I just sent you something on Discord of one of the customs that like got me into wanting to do customs.
okay.
It's really cool. Like the dude added his own LED lights, and then like the little metal workings like inside of like his stomach and stuff actually work. Like he put like a mechanical function in, so when he like the dude comes into his room, he his light switch, like that Gundam will like pull the sword from like behind his back, and like the lights will slowly like glitch and like fade upwards.
Oh, that's crazy. Also, can we, real quick, before I show this on stream, can we talk about that for a moment? How there are now, like, literal, like, transformers you can get where you just say transform and they just do it? Can we talk
Dude, I
about
want one of those
how insane
so
that is?
bad.
Like, think about this. We have gotten to a point now in society
Like
where
the
we
one
can
Transformers that like sit there and talk to you. It's so cool.
you can literally have transformers that transform from you telling them to, and like that, you can literally go and play Pokemon on the go. I know it's not really popular anymore, but like the fact that you can actually like pull out your phone and literally just play Pokemon and walk, like
I still play it. I don't care.
all right, so
Like
is,
I'm 34 years old and I'm a child at heart. I mean, granted, I know you said you're 35 and look at the background, nerd. Psych.
big nerd. So this is what Billy sent me. So Billy, you are no longer on the screen right now, but yeah, this is what he just sent me. This is insane looking.
Yeah, and that took the dude, I think, 8 or 9 months to do, because like all the little details he legit etched in himself with like a little metal. They call it a scribing tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a little chisel. So he added more details and stuff, and then he hollowed out the entire thing to put like the LED lights and all that stuff.
Well, that's the thing I was about to say. Is like I can only imagine how much like how long the wiring itself took to like make sure that it worked correctly. Like, because imagine like you do all the wiring and this top left one here doesn't work, but everything else does. Like,
redo.
Yeah, nah, bro. I ain't. Nope. Damn, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
wild.
that's kind of like something. Well, I didn't do the lighting, but like the painting concept. I did for one of mine. The painting itself, because like I had to break the pieces down at separate times, like because I'd have to do the primer, wait about 4 or 5 hours, because if I put any like painter's tape on it and pulled it off, I rip the paint off because I'm using lacquer paint. And then there was the base paint, and then I went through like 6 or 7 different layers of paint on each piece. Mind you, it was a big grade kit, so there's multiple different forms. There's the entry grade. It's something like kind of standard. You could probably get it done within 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
Then there's the high grade, which maybe take hour or two depending on your skill level, but that's like still like beginner style. That's what most people go for now to like do customs. And then there's master grade, which is bigger by like 3 inches. Because I think the real grade, entry grade, and high grade are about 5-6 inches, when the master grades are about 9 inches tall. And then there's a perfect grade, which is about 1.5 feet.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and the perfect grades come with like thousands of little pieces that you have to put together.
I was gonna say that the ASMR videos that people do of them.
Oh yeah, the clicking. I wanted to do one so bad when I was trying to do TikToks, but then like my little nippers don't do that. Theirs do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude, that right there in and of itself is just one of those things where it's like, because every now and then I'll have TikTok on while I'm lifting, and I just spin through, and sometimes when I leave it and I'm mid set, it will be on something that's like, oh fuck's sake, why is this on? But then like, dude, if something like that comes on while I'm mid set, it's just like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna fall asleep now.
Right. What was it? The most satisfying thing about Gundam kits is panel lining. Have you ever seen any of those videos?
Doesn't sound familiar, but
hold on. I it's like the most satisfying thing ever. Like you see it and you're just like, oh.
So I have a bunch of different links up here for Gundam, right? Just a bunch of different things. Did you know, Sir Billy, that at 2018 Anime Expo, Legendary Pictures and Sunrise announced a collaboration to develop a live-action Gundam movie?
I heard about that.
So Brian K. Vaughan was brought in to write and serve as the executive producer for the film. However, then in April of 2021, it was reported that the project had landed at Netflix, and that Jordan Vaught Roberts has been hired to direct it. Now, Jordan Vaught Roberts has done 2 films, Kings of Summer and Kong Skull Islands. He is also, apparently, he was the film director. I don't know, the film director, likeness only. Okay, so he's the film director in Death Stranding. I haven't played Death Stranding, so I don't know what that is really. I mean, I know what Death Stranding is, but I don't know what the role is. You know what I mean, like that sort of thing. But then also apparently he did the commercials for Avengers, PUBG, and Destiny 2.
Oh shit! Well, if he did the one with Kate, if he did the commercials with Cade, I'm sold.
It says 2017. That's all it says.
Oh.
It says Destiny 2 2017, PUBG 2018, and then Avengers. Oh, the Avengers video game in 2020.
Well,
Yeah.
I heard the Avengers game was a flop.
From what I heard, because of course I didn't play it, I heard it was too. It was one of those things where a lot of companies was trying to do live service ones instead of just releasing games that are good. You know, we recently got that with. I mean, I don't want to say it because I haven't played it yet. Right, and it's the same thing with the Avengers. I don't want to say it because I haven't played it yet, but it's the same thing that I heard with Justice League kill the Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
See, I'm also the type of person that if other people hate it, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna like it.
Yeah. So I saw it. I'm sitting there, and it's like I've seen a lot of clips of it, and I'm like, this just doesn't look good. You know.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm sitting there, and it's like I still like. I've said this on stream. I will not buy the game. I've already decided that.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to pre-order it. I was going to do it. I was going to play it. I was going to turn it into a whole series, like that sort of thing. I am not going to buy it. However, if it comes to Game Pass, I will play it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's that simple, you know?
Game Pass is where it's at. I play PC, and granted, I use a lot of Steam, but as soon as stuff comes to Game Pass, I'm 9 times out of 10 on it.
I've said it before that if you're a streamer, content creator, or just a gamer in general, and you have access to Game Pass and you don't use it, you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's too good. It's too good of a resource not to use.
Yeah.
It's just that people don't understand that.
I've been waiting for Armored Core 6 to go on Game Pass for a little bit.
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about Gundams, the models aspect of it. The shows, I don't think we really have enough time to be able to talk about all of that because damn.
We can talk about all of them in like one shot. They're all fighting for power.
Yeah,
it's literally politics.
It's yeah, it's funny because it's like I typed in Gundam and the very first thing that comes up is the very first thing that comes up on Wikipedia is Gundam, and then it has all the different names. Is a Japanese military science fiction media franchise. It's like okay.
See, as much as I love Gundam, I don't really like 90% of the shows. Like I like G Gundam because they're fighting for power, but they're also fighting a tournament for money and a title. And then there's Iron Blood Orphans. They're granted again fighting for power, but Iron Blood Orphans are a bunch of like orphan kids who got abandoned on Mars, and they found the Gundam and decided to fight the galaxy back.
It's time to fight the galaxy.
And then people became terrified of them, and then the Gundam Witch from Mercury is a little different. It's still got like the politics and the people wanting to fight for power, but it's also the one person is fighting to be noticed. They don't really care about power. They're just essentially fighting to be normal.
Well, the fun one that I noticed as well when I was watching, because I had both of these images are actually from YouTube videos.
Oh, these ones?
Yeah, I went online, watched a couple episodes that people had put up online, and then screenshot the moments that I wanted. But it was funny watching through because I was trying to find a good one for Burning Gundam, because that's of course what I call it. That's what I know him as.
Yep.
But it's funny finding one for that because it very much I got into the trope, the Digimon Pokemon trope, where it's like,
Yep.
Digivolve 2, Digivolve 2, Burning Fist, Burning Fist, Burning Fist, Burning Fist. And it's like, I'm sitting there, it's like, can we just not anymore? Can you just do the move? Like, just burning. It's like, okay, I get it, it's Burning Fist. It's like, before he's even doing it, I'm like, Burning Fist, Burning Fist, Burning Fist. Got it. So it was just,
My hands, you will blaze.
it was funny just getting into that rhythm of it.
Uh-huh.
So it is interesting because I saw the mobile suit, which from Mercury.
Yeah.
Great. I was gonna say, I was like, you said it 3 times now. I'm hoping that I just remembered it. I've seen it on Crunchyroll. Haven't watched it because I'm sitting there.
It's funny. They actually came to at the end of the series. They showed the technical witch from Mercury, because like throughout the entire anime, her main Gundam is Gundam Ariel, but then at the end she doesn't have Gundam Ariel because it essentially got repossessed by the government. And
fucking government.
right. So then she started piloting one. It was called the Gundam Caliburn, but like it had like this massive freaking bazooka side cannon that had like a flail tail, and it opened up to look like a broom. So then like when she's like blasting through space to get to it, she's literally riding it like a broom. It's so cool.
Like I said, I've seen it. It's just every time I see it, I'm sitting there and it's like, I don't know what Gundam this is. I don't know where in the timeline this is. I'm not just gonna start watching it for no reason. I can't watch it because I don't know where we're at. But
Right.
it is interesting with stuff like that, because there are some shows or some genres like that where like you really don't need to jump in at the beginning. Like I would argue Dragon Ball does a decent job of you don't have to jump in right at Dragon Ball.
They have so many like backstory fillers at the beginning, right before.
I mean,
Time on Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, what's the one where it's is it Dragon Ball like ST or G or something like that? Like,
oh, GT.
there we go. Unless it's that one that you try to jump into, then you're cooked.
I got Super Saiyan 4 Goku on my arm, so I
Yeah.
knew that one right off the bat.
But yeah, no, a Gundam is just it's an interesting thing because it is just such a what's the way of wording it? It feels like kind of like almost like, I want to say like the male fantasy, but
Oh yeah, I have plenty of female friends that are into Gundams.
that's what I was gonna say.
I joined a Facebook community, and there's like all of that. You know me, I don't do like big crowds and stuff, but like I go in there and I post pictures of my Gundams, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't care about my ears or my hair or religion. They just want Gundams.
Yeah, it's such a wild thing. It's like big giant robots fighting. Yes,
Right.
It's like, as bad as some people would say the Pacific Rim movies are, right? No matter what, it's still big giant robots fighting things.
Right. Well, what was that movie? Game Over, where they were going through like different games.
No, Ready Player One.
Yeah. They had the RX-78 Gundam, calling him the Grandpa Gundam. They had him fight Godzilla. I thought that was so freaking cool.
Oh yeah, that one was funny how they just had every genre basically. That like
Right.
there.
But like again, like if I recommend, if people are gonna get into like Gundam model kits and stuff, not necessary for like depression or whatever you got. I mean, it's fun because like, back to the story of when we went to Massachusetts, we came home and then yesterday we did like a quote unquote like family build time. So like we had everybody around the table and we were all building a kit, just vibing, listening to music and talking trash to each other.
That's awesome.
But then how I told Dalton, I was just like, if you want to get into this, I was like, don't feel obligated to watch the shows because, in my opinion, I haven't watched half of the shows.
Yeah.
I know a lot about Gundams, what I do, due to the fact of I get bored sitting there on the porcelain throne, so I
Mm-hmm.
just look up stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to at work this past week. I was listening to the timeline for Warhammer, and
Yep.
it was like this is the basic, very easy version of it, and this is this, and this is that, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then there was the Eldar, and then there was the Orcs, and then this happened, and then there was the war, and then this happened, and then the Space Marines happened, and then the Horus Heresy, and I'm just kind of sitting there. It's like I have no context of anything that's happening right now. It's just one in the background noise, but two,
I know what 2+2 is. I mean, if that helps with
yeah,
Warhammer.
it's like at the end of the day, it's just I'm sitting there. It's like I just like it sounded cool. It was like a little bit of a story going on, and it was interesting to me because it was like listening to it. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then like I actually went to the dude's page and was like looking at other videos, and I have like a list out back now of like all of a bunch of his videos that I'm gonna have playing in the background.
Speaking of like Warhammer lore, one of I'm pretty sure you saw my one snap. My first commission with the proxy magic cards is a full deck of Warhammer
Ooh.
style cards. So we've been kind of like putting that together and stuff.
It's
The guy offered 150, but I was just like, dude, these cards are gonna come out looking janky. I mean, I'm gonna try to make them as perfect as I can. I was just like, pay the shipping and then promote me
yeah.
if you like them. Like right now, I don't care if like I make a sale, like me doing like the custom Gundams and stuff, confident on it. Proxies and stuff, not so much. Like the resin D&D dice, because I'm going to be doing like the liquid core. Like I've gotten pretty good at that. The only downfall about my dice right now is I don't have a resin pressure chamber to like suck all the bubbles out. Mind you, that's coming in tomorrow. So,
Ooh.
but I've also got to make a bunch of different molds and stuff. But I've got a lot coming, whether people buy it or not. Fuck
Well,
it, I'm gonna have fun.
Well, I guess the thing is, like, especially with, like, and it's the same thing I've said with. It's similar to the same thing I said to people with uploading stuff, to making videos, or doing that sort of stuff. It's like just fucking do it. Just upload. It doesn't matter at first, because like this one pisses me off so fucking much. If I hear one more person go, oh well, what if it gets copyrighted? Is it a claim?
Right.
Well, yeah. Then who the fuck cares? As long as it's not a strike, doesn't matter.
That's the one thing I've been doing with my magic cards. So like if I say like if it's not our own personal image, like if Tina can't draw it at the time, we go to Google.
Yep.
And then whoever drew it at the bottom left of the card, where it'll say like
illustrated
Wizards
by
Wizards of the Coast or blah blah blah. I've got illustrated by, and then I have their like say like Instagram hashtag or something.
Oh,
and
okay,
all
yeah.
that.
See, there you go.
So
yeah, because that's my big thing. Is it's just like so many people will find an excuse to not do it, and then just run that into the ground. So like the fact that like I love the fact that you basically just tell them like, look, you don't need to pay that. Like I get that's what people are paying for these things, but like I'm getting better at this. I'm still learning to do this sort of stuff.
yeah,
it is also
like the Warhammer one that I'm currently making right now. We actually bought a pack of, I want to say 200 and something pictures. This person specifically drew, and I told him straight up, I was just like, I'm gonna use them as magic cards and sell them. He's like, go for it, you paid it.
Boom, there you go.
So, and I told him, I was just like, I'm gonna have your illustrated by blah blah blah, and then have your at name for like Instagram or stuff. And he was like, do it. In a way, I'm making money, and then hopefully he'll make money.
It is interesting that I because they did the Warhammer decks, and they did the Necrons, they did the Tyranids, and then I think they did like the Chaos Marines, and I think they did like the Imperium. So it was interesting seeing the decks they did do, and then thinking about it and being like, well, they didn't do Orcs, they didn't do Eldar, they didn't do Tau. And it's like I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there, and it's like, are these motherfuckers gonna do a second release of this at some point and do those ones next? Because if they do an Eldar deck, bro, I'm buying it. Like,
Oh yeah,
I love the Eldar was the original ones that got me into Warhammer.
yeah.
So
See, I play Tau due to the fact of, again, they're robots and they're super fun to paint. But our roommate Dalton, he's getting into he's starting his army, which is the Sisters, because like he has a thing for like seraphs and angels and stuff. Even though he's not religious, he's like the most goth people I've ever met. The Gojo guy.
interesting.
But like I asked him, I was like, "Are you obsessed with like actual angels? Like if you saw in like the TV show Lucifer, or if like what we don't see angels as, which is just like the blob with all the eyes and stuff?" He's like, "I don't care as long as it's got wings. I don't care."
That's kind of cool. I mean, it's interesting seeing stuff like the what people like and what people don't like in that aspect too. Because like for instance, like I'm a big dude, I'm a sports dude, right? Like that sort of thing. But then like I'm the first person that will roll up with a pink sleeve deck, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm running squirrels. It's like, well, you're doing what now? It's like, I'm running fucking squirrels. Get ready. You want to taste these nuts? You know, like, but it's like, you know, you wouldn't expect that. You see me and you just be like, okay, he's probably running something big and stompy, you know, nope.
Viking. Ooh.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Now I'm sitting over here. It's like my two favorite decks that I have is squirrels and fairies. It's like, yeah, dude, like, bring it on.
Right. Like we have a buddy who he's like this tiny little dude. He's built like a twig. I love the dude Casey though, but he got so hyped one time. He's playing this one deck and he's just throwing bananas at us. Like left and right because of his commander. And like granted, I can sacrifice that banana, get mana, but he draws a card. But see, that was the fucked up part because I was running my Shale Dread, where if someone draws, they take 2 damage and I gain 2 life if I draw. So I had almost like 6 or 7 bananas because of him, and I sacrificed them all. So he took 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 straight damage. And then
that's
right,
just cruel.
right then I did it even more mean because like he had to draw all them cards, and then he had to discard cards, and then he already had a big grave, and then I played it like with the mana that I got from that. I played a card to make him discard his entire graveyard and then draw cards for however many cards were in his graveyard.
Oh,
So I wiped him off the board.
so mean.
I was like, "Take that, monkey man!"
Take that, monkey man. Also interesting, and we haven't gotten at least I don't know, see it. I haven't seen it yet. We haven't gotten Gundam in Magic, have we?
No, not that I know of.
I know that it's in.
That's why I started making my own proxies and stuff.
I was gonna say, I know the Gundam is in. Oh, it's not Flesh and Blood. The Gundams are in a card game. I just can't for the life of me remember which one it is now, so I'm gonna look because I'm gonna tell you right now. I was at one point because I do.
Yeah, I'm sending you a couple of cards that I literally made not too long ago.
I'm trying to think of the wording here. I do Husky Opens on TikTok, right? And I was looking for like random packs to open because hey, let's see if I can find some cool packs to open that are different than the usual Magic, Lorcana, Pokemon, like that sort of thing. And it was Battle Spirit Saga, so like you can get like Gundam Barbatos 4th form.
Yep.
And it's like it's one of those things. It's like I remember seeing that, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's like they all came from the thing called False Gods. The only reason why I bought like 3 boost packs of it was to see if I could get one so I could send it to you. Literally the only reason why I did it. I didn't get fucking anything, mind you, but that was the whole reasoning behind it.
I've actually been watching this guy who does like the openings. He goes to like random card stores and he sees like this old pack. Like granted, the pack is like $145, and like there's like a little jingle that comes up. It's like, should we open it or should we keep it sealed?
I know exactly
And then
what
like
you're talking about. 'Cause I've seen it too.
he flips through and then it goes to the end. It's like, oh no, should have kept it sealed.
Oh no, should have kept it sealed. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I messaged you some of the Gundam cards that I made for my vehicle deck that I have.
Let me see here.
Um, but yeah, I made a vehicle deck and then I used them like I used the Genesis, um, the Guardian Genesis or whatever.
This guy's probably, oh wow.
But like you could see at the bottom of those cards that I have the creator of said image.
I love how this one you just wrote Bandai.
Yep, because I mean it was from their website.
That's funny. So here, for everyone, this is one of the ones that Billy made. It's freaking cool looking.
That's the Gundam aerial that I was telling you about.
Yeah. Gundam Arrow can be your commander.
That's the engine Genesis.
It's
Shirokai, I think his name is.
yeah, it's from.
I got so used to calling him the Gundam aerial because I mean that's what it is.
I was gonna say it's from Kamigawa, right? The new Kamigawa.
Mm-hmm.
There.
See, don't get me wrong. I love how that deck looks because it's beautiful. I printed it and it's all like the whole deck is hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the planes and like the lands and stuff are all hollow, and like they deal with Gundam and stuff too. But like, the deck's beautiful. But holy hell, do I get shit on?
Oh yeah, no, that's so it's funny because like so me and DeNutte talk a lot about Magic because we play it, and we both collect it. We've talked about it on the podcast. We've done specials where we look at MagicCon. We'll watch like MagicCon together and like just watch and see what's coming out next, sort of thing. I have a buddy Nick Booba Black Ops. He's instead of spelling Bubba, he spelled Buba. So I always been calling him Booba ever since.
Booba Fett.
But I got him into he got me into streaming. I got him into Magic. And he's been like pushing me to build a commander deck, and I've had over here, literally at the side of my computer, that is all of the commander deck that I've built so far, like fully myself built, because I just don't.
Oh, nice.
I just don't buy singles that much, and I just never really think about buying the deck and getting it together. But like I've already said before, like this deck is gonna get torched.
I have 15. No, I lied. I've got 26 decks now.
Jesus.
Since moving, because I mean I've printed them all. In my personal opinion, they all look cool because what I use is the photo grade cardstock, and then I just laminate them.
Okay.
With like a thin matte laminate, so they look real. But
wait, I mean, as long as the group is fine with you playing with them, then fuck it, right?
Our whole group is.
Because I have
like about our whole pod that we have, like 8-9 people have been thinking about having us create their decks, paying us for the proxies, because like for like a full deck, I think I'm gonna do like 75.
Yeah.
40 between 40 and 75. It'll be 40 for like non-hollow, and then because like the hollow paper is so expensive, maybe 75.
I'm just gonna say I've heard 75 is a good number. Don't know where, but I heard it's good numbers from somewhere.
But then, back to the guy Casey, the Banana Man. He has
the Banana Man.
He's been thinking about selling his 3 mana crypts, which are fairly expensive. He's been thinking about selling all of his cards, like his expensive cards, and just having us proxy them, because he's like tired of like the creators shitting on the game. Well, because of the whole like power creep and stuff. He just doesn't want to put money into it anymore.
That's the thing, is like it's the thing that's made me kind of start going away from Magic a little bit. Just purely for the fact of it hasn't been fun.
I feel like with Magic, like there's like an extreme power creep.
There is, and I think as well. I'm noticing it more and more now as I'm getting older. There's a big flow to the game to an extent of like when as a person, as a creator person, player where you like the game and then you dislike the game. You like the game, you dislike the game. And I feel like recently or at least for me anyway, right now we are in a big I just dislike the game. I like everything about it.
I'd have to like find out what it is, but one of our pod mates made a deck with using some of the new cards, and after the 5th turn, he wiped out 3 of us.
Well, that's the thing is like, especially with a lot of this stuff, because like I play stupid shit. I think that's the best way of wording it. I have a white puppy dog deck on MGG Arena, which is literally just you can't hurt my dogs, but I get to hurt you. Like that's the whole concept. I have my squirrel deck on there, which is there's 7 different ways to win that with that deck, and none of them are win cons. Like as soon as someone says like, "Oh, what's your win con?" or "Oh, have you thought about adding this to increase the power?" immediately it's like just stop talking. That's not the idea of what I'm doing here. Like I'm kind of like that's my thing is like I'm over the fact that people always trying to find out what's meta or trying to find out how to break it or this and that. Like for instance, the deck I was showing you here, this is a Aven deck, a white Aven deck. So it's a white bird deck. Just bird soldiers and Avens first came out when I first started playing. So the commander that I'm gonna have, or as of right now, the commander that I have is Lieutenant Qatar, and Lieutenant Qatar. Okay. He ain't nothing. It's 2 white and it's 2 white and no colorless. It's a 2/2 flying. Tap 1 and 1 colorless. Sacrifice it. Remove target attacking creature from the game. That's it.
See, I recently just built a Dragon deck. Do you know about Dragon? I have a whole bunch of cards that, like the ancient copper dragon, the bronze, the brass. All of those and stuff, and then like I line my field up with tokens. Okay, so mind you, I proxy these ones too, but every single dragon that I have in that deck is a stick figure.
That's funny.
They're stick figures with like googly eyes, but like
that is funny.
And then like again, I brought out one of the new outlaw cards. I added that to it because the ancient copper dragon, if whatever I roll after I attack, I keep building treasures. Like I'd line my field up with like almost 40 treasures at one time, and then I played that guy, and then when he starts the combat phase, every single one of my treasures becomes a 3/3 attacking.
Jesus Christ, that's wild. Jesus. Like it is interesting seeing the way that it is going. But
like,
it is
the whole point of that deck is like for me to summon treasure tokens to do that play.
Depending on what colors you're running, there is a I think it's an enchantment from
Dragon is all 5. So
okay, so there's an enchantment from one of the first Ixalons. I forgot which one, but you could probably look it up and find it. You may even have it in there. But it's like if you have 20 treasure tokens, you win.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. That's when there's certain win cons like that I know of because it's just stupid, right?
I've got that. I've got Brass's Bounty. I've got the Dockside Extortionist. I've got the one guy who changes in the 3/3, and then I have a card for however many treasure tokens I have, double them.
Jesus. Jesus.
Like the whole point about that deck, like I don't attack with my dragons, I just build treasure token.
Yeah, no, Gundam is just such. Oh, wrong thing. Wrong page. Gundam is just such a wide array and wide running, kind of like with Magic. Magic's been going since like the 80s. Gundam's been going since like the 80s. And it's not like they have been going since the 80s. And it's funny to see because even though it isn't like as I'm going to say is as popular, but I could be wrong about that even still, because it's still just giant robots fighting each other and fighting other
Yeah.
things. Like, there's always something either new, different, a spin on something, because, like, even within let's say the last year, right? Now, let's go to 2022, because the 2022 down, we don't have anything. So there was a movie, Mobile Gundam Suit, Kura's Doan's Island. That was a movie.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch of Mercury had a prologue ONA. No idea what that is. No idea what an ONA is. TV series was 24 episodes. Then there was Mobile Gundam Build Metaverse. What is... Okay, now I need to figure out what ONA is. What is ONA? ONA. What does ONA stand for in anime? Thank you. Original Net Animation. Known as web animation. Okay.
So the build universe, best way I could put that, it's essentially like Sword Art Online, but they take, like, they go to the Gundam base in Japan, they build their little model kits, and they put them on a little platform, and it scans it, and then they pilot that custom Gundam in the build universe.
That's insane.
That one's actually it's pretty good. It's a least favorite, but I mean I like it due to the fact of gunplay. They used to have like a thing there was a game before that game before like it scanned it that you'd build the custom, and like say if in the game your Gundam got shot and like it blew off its arm, it would literally destroy the little model kit's arm. In real life, so they'd have to go back and like customize it to put it back into the game and all that stuff. And that's when this one Gundam called Gundam Astray, Gundam Astray, nameless. He's like mixed with like 25 different like Gundam's pieces and stuff, and he's so badass, but like he's so terrifying because that dude has nothing to lose because he's so good at building. So he's just either going to rip you to shreds, take the damage, and kill you.
There's Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, which was a movie.
That movie is amazing.
Requiem for Vengeance, which is another ONA, 6 episodes. Silver Phantom, which is a VR movie.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
That one, I don't know when it came out, but it says 2024. And then to be announced is Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Earth Hunt.
Yeah.
Earth Hunt.
A lot of the Gundams in that one deal with Norse mythology.
Ooh, interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to, because you know how I am with that and how you are with that. So that is very interesting.
It's like Barbados. The Gundam Barbados is essentially the way that they worded it in the show of like the lore behind it. It's almost like tier.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Which of course I got my tier necklace on right now.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
I got some Japanese curse thing around my neck.
So building kits. If I was, let's say, because I got 2 things to end this on. First thing is this. Okay. Well, before all that, if I was to get into, if I wanted to get into building Gundams, how much money would I need to get all the metal?
Get all the metal?
Yes, to make the full suit, like the full I know.
Oh, like an actual costume. Never mind. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Fuck. No. So let's say for the people out there, brand new, they want to get into building Gundams. They want to buy Gundams. They want to do it. They want to do some model kits. What is some advice? What is some things that you would say to start with? What is some things you would say to not do, or some things that if you want to take the risk to do, then do? Like what was some things you would say?
Honestly, just if you think it looks cool and it's worth like in your budget, because granted, I buy the one I just finished was like 300. Shoot me. But if it looks cool and like you're like, oh, I want to build this, the only thing I'd recommend is get a pair of nippers. It doesn't matter what style or whatever. Uh, it doesn't have to be a good thing. I'd recommend to you not getting your favorite one because he is worth like 400 right now. But
Good.
um uh but yeah, get nippers and stuff because there's like a chance that when you're doing the pieces, if you pull them off by hand and stuff, it'll break the Gundam. But essentially, just get it if you think it looks cool. Don't do it because like it's a popular one and you want to show it off type deal. If you think it looks cool and it'll make you happy sitting on your shelf or whatever, just do that one. I mean, you don't really have to get too deep in it like a lot of people do. Like we talked about, you could just build it, let it sit on your shelf. It looks nice. Like, I mean, if people have Hobby Lobbies near them, they have sales all the time, which are like always 40% off. So like I get like $60 kits for like $30. Or like
wild.
they've got the high grade ones I was talking about. Like they all look amazing in my opinion. But
Mhm.
like they have a reverse version of the Burning Gundam. So instead of his hand glowing with the fire, it's his feet. He does kicks. I
Hmm.
bought that kit for $7
Oh,
at a Hobby Lobby. So I mean, like getting into Gundam, it's all about how you want to go about it. Is like if you like guns, get one with guns. If you like swords, there's one with swords. If you like hot anime babes, they even have the pilots
oh
that
yeah.
drive the suits that you can build and all that stuff. But then I mean, it doesn't honestly like the model building. It doesn't have to be like Gundam and stuff. Say like if you're a car person, like they've got the cars.
Mm-hmm.
It like they've got Star Wars. They've got Transformers. They have Zoids. Ugh, love that show.
That's it's
Um,
such a
they
throwback.
like in anything you could think of. Like they, I know at our Hobby Lobby they have a Diva model.
Oh, that's gross. Because I can only
Yeah,
imagine. I can only imagine the price tag on it.
$40.
All right, that's a lot better than what I thought my brain was where my
That
brain was going
yeah,
with it. Yeah, shit.
yeah, yeah. But it doesn't have to specifically be Gundams. Like me, I use the Gundams as like a suppression. Like if I come home from work and I'm just like, I feel like shit, hating myself, kind of deal. Mind's going whack. I just go sit at my workstation and I just build it, and I just go mind numb. Like
Mm-hmm.
I turn on some music, just sit there, jam, and forget the world around me, essentially. And you just like pour all your feelings into that, and it comes out looking awesome, whether you like it or not.
There you go. All right, so that's the first thing. The second one is this: is if
Mm-hmm.
if you were to make a Gundam, I'm just gonna say anything. Like so, game, movie, series, book, manga. What would you want to make, or what do you think would be a good?
Hmm.
Throwing you right on the spot right now with
Yeah. Me personally, my obsession with Star Wars and Gundam,
it. Mm-hmm.
I'd put both of them in together.
Oh, okay.
Like do like a collaboration. Not those not the movie Star Wars. I like my obsession is the Old Republic and stuff. I mean, hence why my son's name is Revan.
Mm-hmm.
Um it would just be I mean, essentially the Gundams already have the lightsabers and stuff, but it'd be cool to have a Gundam come up and be like, by my hand, force power.
Just yeah, just a Darth Revan, a Gundam version.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
kind of like what they did with the Star Wars Visions when like it was like a whole like different type of era
mm-hmm.
that they did on like Disney Plus. Like they had the samurai one, they had the robotic one, they had like the bounty hunter one. They're all in like different styles. I would love to like do something like that with Gundam and
Gundams.
Star Wars.
That would be
Like,
that'd be wild because now so you would have them piloting the Gundams, and then the Gundams then. Oh, I mean,
inherit their powers, kind of like
ooh,
the Jedi's would like run the Jedi's and Sith when they're fighting. They're inside the cockpits, like essentially almost like in the VR stand up thing, like G Gundam,
mm-hmm.
how they stand up and they do their kung fu and karate and moves inside the cockpit, not like doing like the little controls and stuff.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool to do.
All right, I dig it.
Um,
So here's.
or
So I was gonna say, while you think of another one potentially, I have one that I thought of just barely. Don't know if it would be good. Don't know if it's already been done or not. But what if you did an MMO
that'd be awesome.
where you get to build your own Gundam and you get to like with most MMOs, right? You pick your class, you pick your race, you do all that sort of stuff. They make a giant story for it, and
Whether
as
you want to
you
be a tank or an attacker, or
and as you advance through the game, you get to level up your equipment, your armor, the way you look, the character. You can buy the cosmetics to change it. You can incorporate it with Gundam itself. So then it's one of those things where it's like, oh, by the way, it's the 1 year anniversary. So for this anniversary, you can get a skin for any class that makes you look like Barbatos, but in that class.
in a way, it sounds like an old 360 game that I played.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an MMO because like they had the 12v12 status, but like it was a game called Chrome Hounds.
Okay.
It was essentially based off Armored Core, but you can make it look how you wanted. You could customize your pilot because like if you wanted to capture the point in Chrome Hounds, you had to get out of your mech and like do it on like human foot.
That's kind
It was pretty cool, but like they do have the one game coming out. Well, they have Gundam Breakers 1 through 3 right now. 4 is coming out. Essentially, the premise of the game is almost like the build divers that I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
You build your Gunpla in game. Like you can customize it. You can have one arm as Barbados, the other one as Freedom, and have your chest plate as like chest pieces like Gundam Wing. And like you can fully like color it and stuff, and then fight each other.
That's kind of wild.
That was that was the one thing that got me into the Mecha Break, is that you could fully customize everything. Now, I mean, you couldn't on the beta, granted, but like you could change parts out coming soon, and like you can do full paint jobs and stuff, and it's just awesome.
Because me and Rob played Gundam Evolution when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was for people that had never played it. We were like, this looks like Overwatch mixed with COD mixed with Gundams. Like, sure, let's see what happens.
Yeah, you know what game I think you would like? It's on Game Pass. It's the Gundam SD one. That one, it's like super cute because they're little tiny ones.
Oh, is it like the one where they look like amiibos or whatever they're called there?
Yeah, but I loved that game. Like, it was so cool, like playing through that.
I have to try it out. But no, I've always I don't know why. Maybe it's because of when Lost Ark came out. I kind of deep dove into it, and that was my first MMO, my first experience with an MMO. So maybe it's that, but it's like every now and then, whenever I think of some games like a new thing they should do, MMO always comes to mind, just because I always like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Where it just feels
because
like
I feel like MMOs are like where it's at right now. If you want, especially like if you want to make friends.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Because everybody's just a shithead. Like you go on Call of Duty, you can make friends for like a few days, but then they'll forget you a few days later.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, like, you know, you see it with me. I play with the boys more than anyone these days, and that's just because, you know, I mean, to be fair, Fedge has bought and sold an Xbox twice to be able to play games with me, and Rob sold his PlayStation and everything. Rob's always been PlayStation. Rob sold his PlayStation and everything to jump to Xbox so he could play with me. Like that sort of thing. So it's like when you have guys like that are, you know, it's like, and then you play.
They're willing to do that.
Yeah, it's like
they're there to stick.
Yeah, you know, so it's like I've been extremely lucky with that aspect of it. Like I said, I love the idea more than the execution of MMOs, because it feels like the execution a lot of times is very poor, or it's
again. Like our last podcast that we did together, Final Fantasy 14. I'm still on that, but I don't play it as much. Like I'm still subbed. I can get on if I wanted to, but ever since the move, like I've just been super busy, and like I kind of like fell off the face of the earth. I still post like my stupid stories on like Snapchat and stuff because that's easy to take my phone out for 2 seconds and whatnot.
Don't blow them there.
I feel bad. Like I haven't really hit up many people and like talked to many people. Like I just mainly stayed like confined to myself, and like I talk to my roommates that come in my room and I do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was especially after like a move. I feel like that's not a uncommon thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just one of those things. Like, and it's just especially with the way things are these days.
yep,
Because like I'm very much a big I'm now. I'll say I would. I guess I'm now more of a if it ruins or upsets my peace, I'm done with it. Like
yep,
it's that simple. Like it doesn't have to do like a whole lot of anything. If it ruins the piece, it's out of there. You know.
right.
So it's one of those things. Like I would rather live in my world of my bubble and be at peace with what's happening than deal with all the extra bullshit that I know is going on, but
Right.
I'm purposely choosing and refusing to interact with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I got enough negative shit going on upstairs without having to fucking add to it by other idiots.
Right.
But with that being said, unfortunately, I can't just get outside and jump in my mech and fly off.
Yeah, that'd be cool because then I wouldn't have to go to work. You want me to come today? No.
You want me to come today? Boom! It doesn't exist anymore.
Whoops, it's gone.
Whoops! Who would have done that? We know
I
it
don't
was
know.
you.
Maybe the person who owns the Big Mac.
Yeah, we know it was you. Oh yeah, how do you know that? You put a Snapchat up with you inside of it saying you did it. Oh,
Wasn't me. That was my twin brother.
AI.
AI generated, photoshopped.
But yeah, so Gundams though, giant robots fighting, doing the things. That one. So like I said before, when Billy left screen for real quick, let us know what your favorite Gundam is down in the chat. Let us know what Gundams you suggest we should watch, shouldn't watch, what Gundam you would like to see Billy build next, and then I can give you guys updates on that as well. Anything else you want to say, Billy? Anything else you want to bring up before we end this?
I mean, if anybody's actually interested in my store coming soon, I will be making a Instagram and Twitter profile for it, posting all of the stuff I have made currently so far.
There we go. So once he does that and he sends me the links to it, I'll leave that in comments. I'll ping that. I'll pin it, whatever. I'll make it so you guys can see it in the comments. I'll put it in the description as well. I'll probably repost it because that's what I normally do when you guys will post stuff that is hey, we're doing this thing. I want to support it as much as I can.
Yep.
Maybe I'll have you build some. Maybe I'll get you to build me a proxy deck of some bullshit that I'll think of at some point. Here,
I'm gonna build an entire big Husky deck with a bunch of furries.
just a bunch of furries, just nothing but furries. I like it.
You know, like the big buff werewolves and stuff, just sitting on rocks in sorrow.
It's like, well, guys, I would play this deck, but I physically can't because TOS.
I'll add sensors to
it. Why is there just black bars across the screen on your card? Don't ask. Just don't ask. He made it so they come off too. I can't unsee what I've seen now.
It's like a pop-up book.
Put it down, pling. I put 1/1 counter on it. But yeah, so let us know about mech, what your favorite Gundams are. Maybe there's even a mech thing that you guys know that aren't considered Gundams, but it's mech nonetheless that you want to tell us about. There is an anime that I've seen on TikTok and everything. I never find the name of it, but it's like one dude in a mech, and the mech is just a giant hulking thing, like a giant hulking mech, and he's in an arena. And the mech's in front of him all like, fancy, thin, and, special. And it's like, all right, he's going to bring out, and he brings out like a shovel. And it's just a giant mech. And like, he just beats the shit out of all these like super class, like agile mechs because he's just a giant mech with a shovel.
I was like Reinhardt.
Dude, it's funny because like he's so cocky and arrogant, but so are the other people. You know, it's one of those things, and I see it on TikTok, and I can never remember to screenshot the comments to say what the name is of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone knows what I'm talking about, let me know, because I've been trying to figure this shit out for months now. But yeah, so thank you though to Mr. Billy for coming on to the effing title. I appreciate it.
It only
so
took
much.
forever.
Yeah, it only took 1,000 days. But I appreciate you coming on while
Anytime.
DeNutte is gone. DeNutte will be back next week. I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing next week, but we'll be doing something, me and him will. I don't know what. There's not really a whole lot going on, so we'll probably have to just think of some bullshit.
Yep.
So, but as always, thank you all for stopping by, hanging out. We appreciate it, as always, and depending on where you are, morning, afternoon, even night, stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Okay, bye.